Oh,
Hi, my name's Leighton Westhuizen. That's Leighton. Last name is Oosthuisen. And I am with Partners Dog Training School.
all right. Today we will be discussing your snake avoidance training. What is partner snake avoidance?
So snake avoidance is basically teaching a dog to avoid coming in contact with rattlesnakes by detecting the sound or the odor of the snake and having a negative association with that.
Why do you hold value on training dogs to avoid snakes?
Well, first of all, we live in Arizona, and so there's snakes everywhere. They're in your backyard, they're out when you're walking, when you're hiking in the desert. If you live anywhere in the valley where there's any kind of desert around you, then there are definitely rattlesnakes. And this trains dogs to try and avoid them. It's not a perfect science, but the value is that if your dog gets bitten by a snake, it's a catastrophic situation, it's expensive, there's a possibility that your dog could die from that, and so this trains them to stay safe and to avoid coming in contact with them.
How long have you been doing this training?
I've been snake avoidance training for about 17, 18 years. During that time we've trained, oh my gosh, probably in the region of 15,000 dogs, I suppose. It's something that I really believe in passionately. It's a very valuable service, and it's something that most people should definitely do with their dogs.
Would you consider this a common special training?
It's becoming more common. There's more and more people that are starting to pick it up and do it. We have a strong history, and we've developed a system that really works well. We've adjusted that system, and many of the other trainers around have picked up on that and have adjusted their systems as well.
Is there anything unique to your training compared to others that offer it?
Yeah, I think that it's because we are a team-based operation. So we have an instructor, we have a handler of the dogs, we stage the dogs ahead of time so that they can become accustomed to wearing the collar, getting used to the equipment and so forth before we train, as opposed to somebody who's maybe a one or two man operation. That means they're doing everything, and there's a stronger chance or possibility that the dog will actually associate with the trainer as opposed to training the actual process itself.
Okay. What are the benefits to this training?
Well, the biggest benefit, of course, is that there's a strong chance that it could teach a dog to avoid a snake and therefore get bitten. There's also an additional benefit that dogs that are snake trained, avoidance trained, will protect their handlers by, alerting on a snake, barking, making a noise, or pulling away from the snake, and thereby saving the owners from a potential bite.
All right. Are there any risks to this training process?
There's very few risks to the actual training. We have a system that is pretty secure. The snakes are contained within a special cage. We actually use multiple cages, but there's no real chance that the dog comes in actual contact with the snake. The only risk really is that the dog could turn and run away and get a fright, or maybe jump or hurt a leg or something like that. It's happened one or two times in the last 15 to 17 years, but it's very rare.
How long is the training process?
The actual training process is only a few minutes, but we need to make sure that the dog is staged correctly, that they're prepared for it, that their equipment is put on at least 5 to 10 minutes before they actually train. That way they don't become equipment savvy, and that means that when you put a collar on the dog, that the dog is then associating with this collar that you just put on instead of associating with the odor or the sound of the rattlesnake, which is obviously the process.
Okay. Then, is there anything else the public should know about this topic?
The first thing we want to look at is how it's actually done. So we bring a dog up, we introduce the dog to the odor of the snake. As soon as that dog associates with the odor, meaning he picks up on the odor, he starts showing interest in it, shows curiosity in it, then we give him a little nick with a collar, and the trainer then runs the dog out. By doing that, we teach an association of odor equals something unpleasant. After that, we introduce the snake, a different snake that makes more noise, that's rattling, to the dog, and we do the same process again. And that way we hope to get both odor and sound association with the dog, and teaching him a negative to teach him to avoid the snake in the future.